Hey everyone, it's Antone. Today I want to talk about something personal, how I manage my anxiety, and if you're someone who also deals with anxiety or just looking for ways to improve your mental health, stick around because I've got some tips that have worked for me and they might work for you as well. So, as some of you know, I faced my fair share of challenges, anxiety, especially sleeping anxiety. It's something I've had to learn to navigate, and I hope to share some of this stuff with you guys to see if it helps you. Sleep's been a terrible one for me, where I go lay down to go to sleep and my mind is just racing and the whole night can go by. Now that's gotten better since I got on medication, but there's other things I did before I started medication that helped. It's just that it got so bad that I needed that extra push, that extra little help with medication. But here's some of the things I did that helped me, and things I continue to do that also help me. And the medicine alone wouldn't work if I wasn't doing these things. And one of them is routines and structure. It's one of the biggest game changers that's been for me, is having a daily routine. It might sound simple, but knowing what to expect each day helps me feel in control. For example, I start my day with a quick 5-minute meditation. It sets the tone for the day. I have my coffee. I wake up at the same time every day. Kinda. It's between 5 and 5:30. It was 5 o'clock sharp for a long time. Now it's between 5 and 5:30. I force myself to try to stay asleep a little bit longer, but going to bed at exactly the same exact same time every night, and getting up at the exact same time has been just an amazing thing. I know what to expect. Also, if I'm going to have a bad night of sleeping and I don't go to bed till 10 or 11, well, all of a sudden 1, 2 o'clock comes around much faster that way. And if I'm laying there having a hard time, it can make for a worse night. If I go to bed a little bit early, I've got some time to play with. If I'm having issues, again, since I've started my medications, which I just did a video on my medications, check that one out. It's the last one I did. If you want to hear me talk about my medications and what they've done for me, I'll touch on those a little bit maybe at the end of this video as well. Running a business, writing, I do a lot of writing, and being a content creator can get overwhelming. I've learned to listen to my body and my mind. If I feel like I'm hitting a wall, I step away, maybe go for a walk, listen to some punk rock, because that's what I'm into. These small resets make a huge difference. And if you follow my channel, again, you guys know I do a lot of hiking. That's for my mental health. Exercise in general is great. I'm not a guy that likes to go to the gym and lift weights and do all that kind of stuff, but I love being outside and I love hiking. So I do a lot of that stuff, and I record a lot of that for my YouTube channel. I've done some research on why hiking is so good for you, and of course it's the exercise, but there's actually some smells and stuff that come from the earth, from the trees and things like that. There's this stuff in the air, and it stimulates your mind. It helps with the endorphins and stuff in your brain to calm you down. And it's so much more than just the physical exercise of going up and down the trail, up and down the hills. I live in Duluth, Minnesota. We're very hilly here. And it's more than just the exercise, which is amazing, by the way, but it's more than that. It's the smells, it's the nature, it's everything that's surrounding me. So it's sometimes I'll be going through the woods and I'll catch some smells that are a little stronger in different parts of the trail than in others, and I love that smell. I've also learned not to do it all alone, whether it's talking to a therapist, a friend, or just venting to a loved one. Getting things out of my head and into words can be really therapeutic. My wife's a bouncing board for me. I throw things at it and have it bounce off, and she tells me, things that can help me out and stuff. Having somebody like that is an amazing thing. My wife, if I wasn't for her, I would probably still be back doing some, having some bad habits of staying up late and drinking too much and just a whole bunch of stuff that's probably not good for me. But, 25, 26 years later, whatever it's been, with my wife, that's been a really, really major part of my mental health and getting on schedules and routines. This is something that she grew up doing and knew how to do that already, and kind of helped instill some of those good qualities into me. And, with mental health issues, my anxiety is so bad that boy, all those things that she helps me with and a person to talk to has just been amazing. Autism specific tool. So I'm on the autism spectrum, and one of the things for me is things get overwhelming, especially sounds. And that can be really, really difficult. So for example, I'll use noise canceling headphones to block out sensory overload when things get too noisy. And that really does help me out. When I have those on, I can just kind of be by myself. So I carry my iPod, what are they called? EarPods Pro, whatever, the Apple ones, Apple EarPods Pro, whatever. I carry them wherever I go, and they're always there for me. They're always fully charged, and yeah, I'll put them on at the craziest times. You know, I might even be in a movie, and I need to hear the movie, but I just kind of get overwhelmed. I'll put them on and zone out with some soothing music, or, you know, I know it sounds crazy to listen to punk rock when you're having anxiety, but it does help me, helps me block out the stuff around me, and that type of noise from the music doesn't seem to affect me in a bad way. Lastly, I remind myself that anxiety isn't my enemy. It's my brain's way of protecting me, and it's even misguided at times. Learning to acknowledge it without letting it control me has been huge. And anxiety has been also, you know, one of my superpowers. Being on the autism spectrum has been one of my superpowers. I started a very small company many years ago, and because of my anxiety and my hyperfixation that comes along with being on the autism spectrum, it forced me to focus in and be afraid of failure, be afraid of not coming through for the customer, and the scare of what do I do to make a living, and where am I going to get my income if I failed, and all sorts of anxieties and things like that. And then the hyperfixation, where I was a workaholic, still am, and those are the things that made me, you know, hugely successful in business. I wouldn't have been able to do those things without anxiety and being on the autism spectrum. Those are two things that they're a burden. I get that, but I'm also grateful for them. They make me who I am, and I've been, you know, my successes came from those things. Let me think what else I should talk about. We're going to talk about medicine a little bit. I know I talked about this in the last video, but I'll talk about a few things here in regards to anxiety and other things I do. I like aromatherapy. There's different smells. Here's one here. I got contacts in, but they're still a little hard to read, so let me throw my cheaters on. This one's called, it's just called Peace and Calming, I guess. I forget the smell of it, but it's called Peace and Calming. And some of those smells really do work. Just kind of close your eyes, breathe it in, breathe it out, and just deep breaths. And it's you know, kind of a meditation, but you're doing it with smells. And if you guys have never tried medication, if you guys have never tried meditation before, you know, one of the things I found out when I first started doing it, I was under the assumption you know, you're like a little, you know, Tibetan monk or something, and you're supposed to completely block out the world, and your mind goes completely blank. That is not meditation. That is not what happens. That's not reality. People do not have that. Because if you've tried to do that, it's impossible. So you're going to have thoughts, and you're going to be trying to focus on your breathing. You know, just breathing in and out and focusing on that breath. But you're going to start thinking about the dog or what's for dinner. And that's normal. That's completely normal, guys. But then focus back to your breath. Get rid of that. Oh, shoot, I can't be thinking about that right now. I need to focus on my breath. So as you're focusing on your breath, tons of stuff is going to come through your head, but just keep coming back to your breath. And you can do that for a couple of minutes. And, you know, I can do 10 minutes of that before my brain just starts spinning and I got too many thoughts and have to quit. So some people that are really good at it can go way longer. I got about a 10-minute max, and typically I like a 5-minute meditation. That seems to work well for me. So meditation is one of the things I've used for my anxiety. It does help. And when I've had trouble sleeping, I'll actually get out of bed, go meditate for a little bit, then go lay back down. And that's helped. Other things like the hiking, the walking, things like that has always helped me. The routines have helped me. Eating healthy helped me a lot. Not having coffee after 10, 11 o'clock in the morning has been really helpful. The food, it was really helpful too. You know, eating a lot of bad quality food, fast food, things like that, boxed foods, that wasn't really good. I don't know what it does to your brain to make you not healthy there, but that my anxiety, when I started eating more salmon and vegetables, green leafies, foods, broccoli, things like that, you feel better, your mind feels better, it helps. Trust me, I've done that. Other things I've done is, you know, taking a bath, a nice hot bath, and kind of sitting in there meditating. Reading has been killer for me too, really good for me. I read a lot. I read before I go to bed. It seems to slow my mind down, and I can focus in on the book, and that makes me even more tired. I read all the time. I use my iPad for it, and you know, I switched from paper books to the iPad a while back, and it was really hard because I was so used to the paper book, the feel, the smell, and everything. But anyway, once you start using the iPad, it's hard to go back. You get used to it, and that's just the way. And I flick the pages with my finger, and it's great, and I love it. But that's a big part of me dealing with anxiety as well, is doing that. What else can I tell you? You know, I try to stay away from a lot of news. You know, I'll try to get my highlights of the local news and national news and world news in the morning for a little bit, but I don't sit there and doom scroll through it all day. I get off it. I'm not big into social media as much as you think I would be. I do go in there and check and stuff, but I'm not on there all day looking. I don't even use, you know, I've got TikTok, but I'm rarely on there. The only ones I probably use these days is I get on Facebook because a lot of my friends are on there, Instagram, and I found one called Blue Sky. If you guys want to try a cool new social media, it's called Blue Sky. It's kind of what Twitter used to be before it kind of got what it is now, kind of crazy. I'm not ripping on it. If you like X, as it's called, that's great. But I thought Blue Sky was more back to what Twitter used to be, and I really like it. That's kind of a fun one. Not a lot of negative stuff on there. It's more of a positive one, at least what I've seen. So that's pretty cool. What else can I tell? I guess we'll talk about my medication for a minute too, even though I just did a video on it. So I take 40 milligrams of citalopram every morning, which is the same as Celexa. And that's a serotonin inhibitor or whatever. You have to look it up to find out exactly what it does. Either my brain's making too much serotonin or not enough, and this fixes whatever that is. I don't know. I just know my brain doesn't do it the way it's supposed to, so I'm on 40 milligrams of that in the morning. At night, I take 100 milligrams of quetiapine, which is the same thing as Seroquel. Seroquel has been a game changer for me for my sleep. It's kind of a strange medication because it's an antipsychotic, and I am not psychotic. I don't have any issues that way at all. But they off-label it for sleep, which is something I do have an issue with, and my doctor has had good results with people that have had some sleep issues. And I'm not even kidding you guys. It's crazy how good it's worked for me. I take that 100 milligrams, and it's not like a sleeping medication where it knocks you out. You get really tired and get knocked out. It just makes me fall asleep normal. I could stay up on it if I wanted to. I don't even have to go to sleep on it if I didn't want to. I don't really know what it does or how it works. It's just crazy. It just, when I'm ready for bed, I go to bed, and I usually take that in about an hour after I take it. I'm sleeping. But again, it doesn't knock me out. It doesn't make me super tired where I can't drive or anything like that. I just can go to sleep if I want to. So that medicine has been such a game changer. I would say for me, that medication has been more important for me than my morning medication. You know, I know that morning medication's it's been great. I can't even really tell I take it anymore. I feel good. I don't have any side effects. But if I had to choose between the two, I took that morning medication because my sleep was spiraling out of control so bad that he put me on both those at the same time. But if I had to get rid of one, it'd probably be that morning one because the sleep was my main issue with all my mental health stuff. The anxiety, even though it was horrible at times throughout the day, I still could get through the day. I just wouldn't be able to sleep. I couldn't get through the night. That was the problem. And it was really, really tough. So But yeah, I've tried all these different types of things, and they all help to some degree for your anxiety and whatever you're dealing with health-wise. They're all great, but I still needed that extra medication on top of it now. That all those things that I was doing were working and they were helping, they just didn't get me far enough. So maybe if you're somebody who doesn't have some of the mental health issues as bad as I had them, you don't even need medication. Those things alone would probably help you out. I don't know. But there's some of us out there that there's just no choice. We need the medication. And there's a lot of medication haters out there. When I post a video saying how it helped me, I get people that seem to be able to know more than the doctors and know more than I feel and tell me how I'm doing something wrong by taking medication. Like they know what I'm going through. Like they know where I've been and what I've gone through and the issues I've had. They seem to think they know all that. And they'll tell me basically I'm a piece of shit for having to do the medication, that the exercise and changing your diet alone is enough to fix your mental health issues. Fuck you. No, it's not. If it was, I wouldn't be 54 years old and just started medication recently within the last, couple of years or whatever it's been. It's you don't know what you're talking about. You're not a doctor. And if you were, you'd know that the medication is there for a reason. And some people have to take it. So excuse my F word, guys. I don't usually swear in my videos, but it does piss me off when somebody berates me for taking medication when they don't know how I feel or the issues I've been through and the issues my wife's been through having to deal with somebody with anxiety and sleep issues. So for those haters out there, keep hating, I guess. I don't know what to tell you. So anyway, guys, I just thought I'd tell you some of the things I do that help me with my anxiety and stuff. But the game changer was the medication. I keep getting back to that, but it was such a game. It changed my life. So, but I appreciate all of you guys. I got a little darker background this time. I turned the light off. Do you like that better? If you do, leave me a comment and tell me if you like this better than the bright light I usually have on, which is above my head. Is this a better, easier for you to watch video? That's about it, guys. I love all you guys. And if you're new here, thanks for coming. Please subscribe, and we'll see you on the next video. Take care, guys. Bye.